No longer are you a student from the Empire of Japan. You may henceforth claim to be a fully fledged lawyer. Well, while the bailiff's attention was diverted by some other matter, the omnibus went up in flames. The police have identified a corpse found inside the charred shell of the carriage as that of McGilded. The name's Tobias Gregson. Inspector Gregson to you. I'm from Scotland Yard. Inspector Gregson and Mr. Sholmes enjoy a wonderful friendly rivalry. A young woman was walking along the pavement on Briar Road when she was stabbed from behind. I am a visiting student sent here by our government. Notoriously named Natsume! Suzuki Natsume! You mean you saw the attacker? I didn't see anyone. As I was walking along that accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman, wearing a green overcoat she was, and just as I went to overtake her, she suddenly let out a scream and collapsed onto the cold hard slabs of stone at my feet. He didn't touch the victim, and there was nobody at the scene to see him. So how did the police ever discover that he was there in the first place? It was him. That accursed great detective. He led the police to me. May you be cursed until the end of your days, Hairlock Sholmes! What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am the story-driven gamer, and today we're going to be jumping back into the Greatest Attorney Adventures. Oh, I always get so excited to jump back into this game. So, in the last episode, we just started trial number 3, or case number 3, rather. And we didn't get too far into it. It was kind of just the introduction to what the case is about. We have a woman who has been stabbed in the back. Literally. You know, maybe figuratively too. We're not that far into it. We don't know the specifics of the case yet, but don't know if it was somebody that this lady knew, if it was some kind of accident. Who knows? That's really all we know. And we met with our defendant. That was the last thing we did in the previous episode before coming here to investigate the crime scene. Yeah, and he's I like him. Like, he's very charismatic, a bit paranoid, jumpy. Just high-strung is the word. That's for sure. But understandable, right? Like, he's I'm sure it's stressful enough being accused of murder, but being accused of murder in a faraway country where you barely understand the language. So it's no wonder that he's super happy to see, you know, two Japanese, two of his own kind, here to defend him. So that's why it gives him hope. But yeah, I like him so far. What we know of him, he's funny. He's a funny guy. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. We talked to him. He told us about the case. He told us, like, there were no other witnesses that saw him there at the scene of the crime. He had no previous connection to the victim. He didn't know the victim in any way. So yeah. So it's like, why is he a suspect then if nobody witnessed him there or saw him there? And if he had no connection to the victim. But we found out that Mr. Hairlock Sholmes, who we haven't seen yet, made that deduction. So we might have another one of those deduction extravaganzas, whatever they're called, to you know, be like, you're full of crap, Sholmes. And this is why. Yeah, other than that, we just learned more about the case, and then you know, we didn't actually agree to defend him yet. We said, like, we'd examine the scene of the crime, see if we can find any clues, and we'll get back to him. Which is smart. Oh, and one other big thing that happened before all of this is we found out that Magnus McGilded, our defendant from the last case, is dead. And as I had feared, he was the guy in the carriage when it was on fire. So he will be missed terribly. Haha. No, but it's interesting. I thought he was either in the carriage, or he set the fire to the carriage and put somebody else in there. So it turns out he was there, he was killed. And yeah, and I'm sure that's going to come back at some point, maybe in the final case. But for now, that's going to be on the back burner. And now here we are. This is the scene of the crime where the lady was stabbed, and we are going to investigate. So enough talk. Let's go. And this is Gregson in front of us. We met him in the last case in the last episode as well. Yeah, he's just chilling with what I think is fish and chips. He's an interesting one too. He's Sholmes' rival. I want to just go through our people. So I always reread it. Even the old characters, I like to reread them. Susato Mikotoba, a judicial assistant sent to Britain on a study tour. She's the epitome of a fine Japanese lady and a huge help to me, always. That is not an understatement. Male Strongheart. The Lord Chief Justice who wields absolute authority in judicial matters, including the appointment of lawyers. He's a thoroughly intimidating man, that's for sure. Tobias Gregson. He is 44, the detective inspector in charge of Scotland Yard. Investigation of the case. He's stern and single-minded in his approach and a great lover of fish and there we go. Great lover of fish and chips, as we've seen him eat plenty of them. Suzuki Natsumi, a scholar oh, he is only 33. Okay, so he looks a bit older than that, but I guess that makes sense. A scholar sent to Britain by the Japanese government to further his study of English. He's the defendant accused of attempted murder. Oh right, I forgot to point out a big difference in this case compared to others. I keep forgetting about it too, is that the victim actually isn't dead. She's alive. So we'll probably get to talk to her at some point. What do you think? I think I kind of want to investigate before talking to him. We don't, as you saw, we don't have any evidence either yet. Okay. So let's examine the crime scene first. First off, the snowman. Hee hee! What a delightful snowman! I didn't realize the English had a tradition of making snowmen as well. It looks a little creepy though. Oh, it has a scarf, look! You'd need one if you were out in this freezing cold all the time. I wish I had one. I'm afraid our budget is somewhat frozen at the moment. Ha ha ha! Jokes. We certainly can't afford a scarf. Surely the snowman here wouldn't miss his. But the person who made the snowman certainly would. Yes, I know, you're right. Anyway, even if I borrowed it, it wouldn't do much to warm my neck, would it? It's covered in snow. Okay, one other thing I just remembered is, just to reiterate, the little trophy objective for this, I kind of forgot what it was in the last episode. It was to examine the violin in, I guess, Iris's room or whatever. I'm not sure who that is. I think it's the little girl we met at the end of the last case, the little pink-haired girl. But it said in Iris's room before talking about the Wilson topic. So I guess that means, like, I guess there'll be a topic in the list of the conversation topics named Wilson, and I have to examine the violin before talking about that. Okay, here's a carriage. Oh, that's a Scotland Yard carriage. I've seen enough carriages for a lifetime, thank you. They use vehicles like that to rush to crime scenes and cart away criminals. You're very well informed, aren't you? It's long been a dream of mine to ride one of those through the streets of London. Well, just pick up a stone and throw it through one of the windows then. That'll do it. But that would mean being arrested in order to ride it. Oh, come on, it wouldn't be the first time. Well, actually, I guess technically it would be the first time that my assistant in one of these games gets arrested for something. Wouldn't it? Still, if it's the only way, help me find a good stone. Help me! Help me, Ryunosuke! Okay, calm down, calm down. No, I wasn't serious. Oh, that's such a Maya thing to do, like, you say something in a joking manner, and she's like, okay, if you say so. Let's do it! Okay, I guess let's examine these guys. That's one of the officers from Scotland Yard. The police are making sure the crime scene is undisturbed. I have a feeling that if we wander too close, we'll be clapped in irons. I think perhaps you're being a little overcautious. We've done nothing wrong, so we have no cause for concern. Oh no, I'm not getting caught out again. Twice is enough. Really. Twice I found myself in handcuffs, despite not knowing a thing about what was going on. 2 times in this frickin' game! Sorry, lost my cool. Yes, you've had some dreadful experiences. I'm sure it's that wide-eyed look of panic you're so prone to. It does you no favors at all. Don't remind me. Okay. Anything else in this vicinity? Doesn't look like it. So I guess we can pivot this way. Oh, a bike. Very flat bike. Oh, a British bicycle, look! Although the wheel is so misshapen, I'm sure it couldn't possibly be ridden anymore. Someone must have been doing some breakneck cycling. It seems bicycles have become extremely popular in London recently. There's even a movement to change women's dress to allow them to ride as well. The bicycle fad won't last. I don't see why anyone would want to ride something like that. But it's never gonna catch on. Goodness, do you dislike bicycles? No, not at all. I mean, it's not that I dislike them exactly. I sense a story there. Just that any occupation that involves taking both your feet off firm ground seems reckless. I mean, we do that in a car, don't we? Well, do cars exist? Carriages? Whatever? If you'd ever tried walking on stilts and fall into a river, I know you'd agree with me. I've been there. We'll have to hire a bicycle sometime. You can sit behind me while I ride you around. You can be my assistant. Okay. Strand Street? That's a rather typical old brick building, isn't it? I'm sure it has a long and interesting history. Well, time certainly seems to have taken its toll on the place. It's crooked and sagging all over. In fact, it looks in decidedly worse shape than the other houses around here. Does it? We must find some cheap lodgings ourselves as soon as possible. Yes, you're right. Cheap, but ideally with reasonably level floors. Yeah, we don't want it to be a total dump. Okay, oh, this is a different building here? Oh, what's over here? Oh, look at the windows of that building there. Oh, I just realized they're bricked over. Are you sure they're windows? Yes, but they're all filled in with bricks. Oh, you're right. I wonder why. Hope nobody's trapped inside. Perhaps it's an empty property where nobody lives at the moment. There's smoke coming from the chimneys, though. Somebody's in there. Oh dear, everything still feels very foreign. There's so much we have to learn about this place. Indeed. Don't know what that's about. Unless Monokuma is holding some kids hostage in there? Don't know. Oh. What's this building? The clouds look so big and heavy in the sky, don't they? And with the dense fog as well, everything looks hazy. Well, it is known as Foggy London Town. I can just make out some sort of spire through the fog. It looks like it's still being built, though. Aha, yes! That must be the Crystal Tower being built for the great exhibition that's to open in 6 months' time. Apparently it's going to be very striking. Glazed on all sides and the symbolic centerpiece of the exhibition. It's to be the largest exposition in history, is it? I can't even begin to imagine it. I feel like that's going to be significant somehow, because we also heard about it. There was a poster in the carriage about it. I don't know if maybe the 5th case will. Maybe we'll jump ahead 6 months or whatever, and it'll involve this place somehow. I don't know. Maybe the next game? Oh. Now it's this chimney. Do you see all the black smoke rising from the chimneys over there? It says here that in Great Britain, many people heat their homes in winter using coal. The only chimneys I really remember seeing in Japan were on top of the bathhouse. Do you think some of those houses could be on fire? Not at all. Well, even so. That much thick smoke billowing to the heavens is surely going to turn the whole sky black sooner or later. Pollution is no laughing matter, Susato. Gosh, you may be right about that. Okay, there's a lot to examine over here. I want to be very thorough and make sure I don't miss anything. Oh, the street itself, okay. There are piles of snow on the pavement here and there, but the road itself is covered in carriage tracks. It seems carriages often travel down Briar Road. It soon disperses all the snow. I slipped over when I was walking down the pavement earlier. It seems like it would be far safer to walk on the road instead. Oh, but you're rather small, Mr. Naruhodo, and dressed all in black. I worry coachmen might not see you and you could be flattened by horses. That would not be good. Well, thank you for the rather small concern. You got it, buddy. anything else, anything at all. I think that's it. Oh wait, I take it back. Got this little barrier here. This patch of pavement must be where the incident occurred. Yes, it's a very wide open space, isn't it? That's true. I can't see anywhere an attacker could have been hiding. Oi, what are you foreigners doing here? Ah! Oh, we, just investigating the scene after conspiring with the mustache fella from Japan, are ya? Conspiring? Come here to destroy evidence, have ya? Get out of here before I give you an hiding. Go on! Okay then, friendly chap. He shoot us away like rats. That bastard? That rat bastard? Okay, calm down, Susato. Yes, we should give him a wide berth, I think. What a disappointing experience. I know, you look up to them. You look up to these guys, these lunatics. No, I'm kidding. They're just doing their job, Susato. Okay, I forget if I did this already, but take a look at my armband. Inspector Gregson, could I show you this? Am I supposed to know what that is? I've never seen that insignia before. It's worn by defense lawyers in the Empire of Japan as a symbol of their profession. In other words, it's a worthless trinket here in Great Britain. I guess so? Oh no, it's very important to me. It shows my spirit. Yeah, let's go with that. An English gentleman keeps his lucky spirit very much to himself, I'll have you know. Oh. Don't give up, Mr. Naruhodo. It's too late. He's crushed my spirit already. That was a big mistake. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I did that before. Okay, without further ado, let's talk to him about Scotland Yard. Tell me about Scotland Yard, Inspector, please! Ever since I read about it in the adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, I've been fascinated by the place. The Yard, the most sophisticated policing organization you'll find anywhere in the world, ma'am. Oh, and you know I've always dreamt of wearing a real Barbie's helmet. No. It does make them look the part, seeing that policeman there with his helmet on. You certainly get the sense that this is a man who will take no nonsense in his duty of protecting the city. We experienced that moments ago. Oh yes, doesn't he look wonderful? Being a London Bobby is hard going, I can tell you. You probably were there once, Inspector? Oh, really? First thing in the morning, you know what he does? Goes round and rouses all the laborers in his beat so they can get off to work. What? He wakes people up? Yup. Raps on their windows with a long pole. Did it myself going back a bit. I had no idea. That sounds terrible. The Bobby works for the people of the town. It's just another one of his duties. After that, he starts tirelessly patrolling the streets all day long. He has to cover 20 miles a day. That's the regulation distance. I can't really imagine how far that is, but it sounds like a long way. It sounds like a crappy job, sir. Let me see... 20 miles. That's approximately the distance from Tokyo to Yokohama. On foot? That's definitely taking things a step too far. And when it gets dark, of course, he has the important job of lighting all the gas street lamps. Oh my. And I suppose in between all those duties, Barbies are expected to investigate cases as well? And chase after criminals trying to evade the law. Like a superhero. I'm not sure you could call it in between exactly. More alongside, but yes. They are expected to handle these jobs as well. We do have men killing over time to time, I admit. A little overworked there. I'd always dreamt of wearing one of those helmets, as I said. I changed my mind. They suck. But it's with a heavy heart that I shall have to relinquish that dream to you, Mr. Naruhodo. Your heavy heart will be my heavy head if you do. Yeah, let's not do that. Okay, let's talk about the case a little bit. It happened at around 5 in the evening 2 days ago, just there on that open bit of pavement. The victim, a young woman, was stabbed with a blade from behind. Is it right that the lady is still unconscious now? You mentioned that she's being treated in the hospital. I never said she was a lady. Truth is, Unless she comes around pretty smartish, we won't be able to find out much about her at all. Wait a minute, I thought we verified it was. I suppose that means they haven't been able to take a statement from her, of course? Here's a map of the local area I happen to have on me. You can take it if you want. Really? Oh, are you sure? It's Yard Police policy to give lawyers defendant suspects the odd bit of information to go on. I haven't actually accepted the job yet, but still. We won't tell him that. Thank you, Inspector. We gratefully accept. Okay, our first little piece of quote-unquote evidence. Local map, a street map of the local area showing where the victim was found. Anyway, as far as we know, there was no one else on the scene other than the victim and your fellow countrymen. So, who did it, do you think? Not much of a head scratcher, is it? Well, I know Mr. Natsume is also claiming not to have seen anyone else around, but just because he didn't see anyone, it doesn't mean we can be sure that nobody else was present. That is a fact. I'm sorry to have to tell you, but we most certainly can be sure. How? Because, ma'am, the precise moment of the stabbing didn't go unnoticed. What? So there was someone there. We have two very reliable witnesses, no less. It was a typical foggy London day and your client obviously didn't see them. There were witnesses now? What the doodly do? Okay. Witnesses. Who are these witnesses, Inspector? A fellow and his wife. And the man's one of the most reliable and respected citizens in all of London. He wouldn't do anything wrong himself. He's a copper from Scotland Yard. Oh boy. Wait. A policeman? That might change things. Yeah, tell me about it. It's probably him. And this policeman just happened to be there at the exact moment the woman was attacked? Nothing peculiar about that, Mom. Part and parcel of being a bobby, catching them banging the act and all that. You think it might be possible, and I'm just spitballing here, for us to ask that policeman a few questions? Be my guest. You can ask him what you like. In court tomorrow. Oh, alright then. I've no doubt he'll be summoned as a witness. So that'll give you something to look forward to. That's that then. He's got no intention of letting us meet the man beforehand, it seems. A policeman witnessed the incident. As your judicial assistant, I must warn you that this could make our job very difficult indeed. No kidding. Yes, as a non-judicial assistant, I could have warned me of that too. Wait, I could have warned me? Oh yes, one more thing, Inspector. What? The person who led you to the suspect. I hear that was Mr. Sholmes. What are you bringing up for him? What are you bringing him up for? Was there something I said? The color is drained from his cheeks. Okay, I guess we'll talk more about Sholmes. We know that they're rivals, so to speak. Don't know if that makes them enemies or if they're just, you know, like friendly rivals. Oh, music's going away. Now you know things are serious. Who did you hear that name from? He's in a very famous book series. Oh, well, it was Mr. Natsume who mentioned it. He said that Mr. Sholmes was with the police when they entered his lodgings. I'm sure it was the result of one of Mr. Sholmes' inspirational great deductions. Fiddle, faddle, puffy, cock, da. Ah! The man's an amateur, and I'm getting sick and tired of him showing his mug everywhere. Oh, that doesn't surprise me. I don't know where he gets his information from, but he turns up at the scene of the crime, wanders around spouting incomprehensible rubbish, and before you know it, he claims to have solved the case. And he's usually wrong. Yeah, we know. Yes, he's quite astounding, isn't he? He is a great help to Scotland Yard, though, isn't he? Gibble, gabble, fiddly sticks. Ah! Ever seen this before? Is it his book? The Rants. Oh yes, that's Rants magazine. The wonderful publication in which the adventures of Sherlock Sholmes appears. My favorite. Yes, well, that wonderful publication, as you put it, sees fit to include several of the Yard's detectives in its stories. And the so-called great detective makes a mockery of all of us. If you ask anyone at the Yard, it's a misadventure to be included in any Sherlock Sholmes tale at all. Oh boy. Well, I suppose there is an element of that. We work our socks off, every one of us, only to be frumped by the public thanks to that obnoxious detective. The man's as dangerous to us at Scotland Yard as he is to all our criminals. That can't really be true, can it, Inspector? Uh-oh. Getting some beef here. Clearly the great detective and the police have a complex relationship. Okay. We gotta go talk to him myself, but let's talk about tomorrow's trial. That twitchy Japanese bloke goes on trial tomorrow. Are you going to defend him or not? Well, that's yet to be seen. Makes no difference to me, but I will just say this. No London lawyer with his salt will touch that case with a large pole. Because the prosecution is being handled by the Reaper of the Bailey, you mean? Precisely. There's no way to save the man now. It's a waste of time trying. This is all a bit strange, though. Sorry? The Reaper. He hasn't appeared in court once for a good few years now. Yes, we did hear something to that effect. And the only people he usually bothers with are the real scum. The master criminals, the violent ones. Master criminals? The violent ones? That's right. Like the gangsters, he handpicks his victims, only deals with those guaranteed to go to the gallows for their sins. But Mr. Natsume wouldn't hang for what he's accused of, surely. That's just my point, sunshine. Yes, the wrong one was stabbed, but didn't kill her. Couldn't even say the intent was there. So this is the sort of case I'd be expecting the Reaper to want to sink his teeth into, for want of a better phrase. Well, it's not exactly a minor infraction, is it? No. There's got to be more to it. Some reason he's taken an interest. Yeah. Really? What sort of reason, Inspector? You think I can tell you what's going on inside the head of the Lord of Darkness? Think again. You'll have to ask him yourself, at tomorrow's trial. Are we really gonna have to face the Reaper again? The Lord of Darkness, as he put it? Okay, now what? Well, I don't think we're going to get any more useful information out of the detective. We still have to investigate the scene. Mr. Naruhodo, can I make a suggestion? Oh, yes, what is it? Well, it seems to me that we must speak with him about this. By him, do you mean Mr. Sholmes? Yes, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes, exactly. Oh, the music's picking up. Look at those shining eyes. You can't wait, can you? Well, Mr. Natsume did blame Mr. Sholmes for all of this, didn't he? Yes, he did. He really did. Let's go. Which makes him an involved party in this case. Are you just going to ignore that? I hope not. I assure you, it's not simply my selfish desire to meet Mr. Sholmes again. Is it, though? The trouble is, you have no idea of the man's address even, so... It's Baker Street! Yeah, there we go. Oh man, are we gonna actually visit his home? How do you know that? It's in his book. It's in the stories, of course. 221B Baker Street, the most famous address in the world. Probably not the smartest idea to publicize that. Does he get, like any celebrity, does he just get people popping in? Oh, I see. Well, there's nothing to stop us from going, I suppose. We better try to find our way there before Susato-san gets any more excited and unpredictable. Hurrah! I'll summon a carriage. So, we're to have a reunion already. with the great detective, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes. Let's do this. Okay. I don't know if presenting him with this will get... Actually, we haven't looked at it yet ourselves, have we? A street map of the local area showing where the victim was found. Okay, so Briar Road, that's the road we're on, and yes, it happened at that corner. Now, there is another road on... Actually, there's two roads. Meerschaum Street and Calabash Road. I wonder if they'll be important. I just want to see if he has anything more to say about the map if I present it to him. Thank you again for this. Don't mention it. I had someone at the yard fish it out for me, but in the end I didn't need it. Oh? Well, the case could hardly be simpler, could it? I don't need a map to work out what happened. You can throw it away when you're done with it. Cold. Cold as the snow on the ground. Okay. Yep, we're done here. Let us move to Sholmes' suite. 221B Baker Street, the home and office of the most famous detective in the world. Can we really visit, do you think? Oh, pinch me. I'm sure I must be dreaming. I want to sleep in the bed that he slept in. Ooh, a cutscene. Okay. Oh, I see Baker Street. Thank you, my good man.
Thank you very much.
It's just up there overlooking the street. Good day.
Thanks again.
There it is.
This is it. The residence of Mr. Sherlock Sholmes.
Oh, look at Susato. Ooh, nice. Ooh. Okay, this is more or less what I would think it would look like. The inside of a great detective's home. It has a familiar air to it. 19th of February, 12:53 p.m., Sholmes' suite. So do we knock, or do we just, like, run in? Or climb in through the window? How do we get in here? So this is where the great detective makes his living. It feels surreal to be here somehow. Oh, there's a violin. Is it as described in the stories, Miss Susato? Oh my gosh! She's hyperventilating. Susato-san? I'm in heaven! Many famous cases have been solved here in this very room. Oh, I suppose they must have been, yes. I've never read the story, so it's hard to get quite as excited about it as she seems to be. The detective chases the villain relentlessly as he disappears into the fog down on unlit London Street. Oh, the thrill of it, the romanticism. Can't you feel your heart thumping in your chest? No, that's my arrhythmia. Can't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, I suppose I can, yes. So, if you don't mind, I'll just stand here and soak up the atmosphere for a while longer. You do your thing, Mr. Naruhodo. Please don't mind me. She's obsessed. Well, it looks like our detective friend isn't home at present. Excuse me, is anybody home? Oh, do we have a visitor? Oh, it's Iris! Hello! Is it a big new case for Mr. Sholmes? Hello? Wait. Aren't you... Oh, how rude of me. I'll go and make some tea at once. Okay. It's our little girl. I'm sure it's the same girl. Miss Susato, did you see the girl who was just here? Oh, I'm sorry, did you say something? Oh yes, isn't it truly extraordinary? To think that the King of Bohemia came to this very... I'm sorry, I love it. I love her fangirling. To think that the King of Bohemia came to this very room to ask Mr. Sholmes to take on his case. The King of Bowaria? King Wilhelm of Gottstrich Sigismund von Ormstein, of course. Duh! Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Forget the adventures of Hillock Sholmes for a moment and look over there. How dare you say such a thing, Mr. Naruhodo? The tea is brewed, and I have a freshly baked cake as well. Ah, I love this theme. Oh, I know you can't see me, but I'm dancing. I'm dancing. Ah, it's you! I knew it. Suzusan recognizes her too. Ah, there you are! If it isn't clear, I'm not going with that squeaky, shrill nonsense voice I did before. I listened to that back and I was like, ooh, that sounds awful, and it hurt my voice. And taking that with you as well? I was looking forward to try one of my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Oh, good day to you. I'm, well, the inventor, I suppose, of that machine. Oh, this is a bop. It's the girl who turned up at the end of Mr. McGilder's trial in the defendant's antechamber. I've never met a lawyer from a Far East before. Poor you, having to get straight to work when you're only just arrived in London. Yeah, what are we gonna do? Oh yes, it was challenging. Well, try this tea. It's my special blend, you know. Oh, thank you. Is tea supposed to look that color? Oh my, what a fragrant yet mellow flavor. Hooray, it's a winner! I tried blending different leaves designed to alleviate fatigue, you see. You must be exhausted after your long voyage here, and you have another ticklish trial tomorrow. Oh, and you're to defend a Japanese man. I do wish you lots and lots of luck. Did Mr. Sholmes tell you about us by any chance? What are you doing here? Oh, you know Hurley, do you? Hurley? Mr. Sholmes to you, surely. What are you, his daughter or something? Mr. Sholmes was a fellow passenger on the boat that brought us to Great Britain, you see. Was he really? Well, I had no idea. I'm afraid Hurley's out on an errand again today, even though he just arrived from overseas. Wait a minute. We met this girl for the first time ever yesterday after the trial, and only briefly at that. How on earth does she know so much about us? Inventor by day, stalker by night. Did she deduce all those things, do you think? Aw, she a little Sholmes. Oh, she's so cute. And perhaps, more to the point, why is she here in Mr. Sholmes' suite? Oh, silly me. I haven't introduced myself, have I? No, you have not. A little curtsy. It's a great pleasure to meet you both. My name is Iris Wilson. Oh, get out of here. So this is Wilson. Either she's the daughter of I guess she could be the daughter of, what do you call it? Sholmes' the sidekick Wilson. Or maybe she is the sidekick in this game. Interesting. I live here together with Hurley. Iris, is it? What a lovely name. What? What's the matter? No, wait, this can't be. Did you say that your name is Wilson? What's the matter with Susato-san? Why is she so flustered all of a sudden? Yes, that's right. And what are your names? Oh, I wonder if she could also be related then to Wilson from the beginning of the game. Oh, I'm Ryunosuke and Susato, a lawyer from Japan. Oh, sorry. I am Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, Susato Mikotoba. It's wonderful to meet you. Lovely, Susie and Runo. Got it. Those are your new nicknames. Susie? And Runo. There's more to this girl than meets the eye. I have so many questions for her, I don't know where to start. Yes, and so do I. Okay, let me just check something. There we go, Wilson. So I gotta examine the violin, which I saw on the left side of the screen before I talk to her about that. Okay. Maybe let's examine stuff first. Here it is. I've seen pictures of Western musical instruments like this. It's called a violin, isn't it? Of course it is. Mr. Sholmes is renowned for his violin playing. Oh, really? That's like his signature thing. Absolutely. It's often explained in the stories. It's inspirational, Mr. Naruhodo. Inspirational! I immediately started playing the koto, which was the closest Japanese stringed instrument I could find. I watched an anime not that long ago that was all about the koto. I forget what it was called, but it was about like a school club, like a koto club. They formed a koto club. It was pretty good. What a shame you couldn't bring it with you to London. Oh yes, well, Papa was beaming when I asked him if he would buy me one. But after a while, he asked if I would only practice when he was out of the house. That bad, are you? So, now it's merely an ornament in my room. That must have been an awkward conversation. Yay, second-rate strings. So I wonder if the dialogue will change then after I talk about Wilson. Okay, I just want to do that. Let's go back to the middle of the room. Actually, we can go left to right, I guess. I feel there's gonna be a lot to examine in here. What on earth is this huge, over-the-top machine? That's the great analytoscope. It can analyze anything, really. Anything at all. That's absolutely incredible. It's one of Hurley's inventions. It took him a whole year. He said it was to help him with his investigations. What sort of things has he analyzed with it? Do you know? Tell me. Well, actually, he hasn't used it for anything yet. Oh. Why not? Apparently, on the evening he finally completed it, it suddenly occurred to him. I don't actually have anything I need to analyze. What a silly goober. Oh dear. How about you, Runo? Do you have anything you'd like to analyze? The only thing that springs to mind is this machine itself. This music. Is this like Iris's little theme? Because I dig it. Okay, here's a bookshelf over here. There's all sorts on these shelves. Chemistry apparatus, books, papers, and lots of things I've never seen before. It's all heaped up so high, I can't help feeling that the whole lot is going to topple at any moment. I keep telling Hurley not to cram so much on those shelves. Good advice. He wanted to look something up on one of those books a while ago. But it was so tightly wedged in, he couldn't get it out. So he went and bought a new copy instead. Yeah, I think that's it over here. It looks like that huge metal chest is being used as a table for tea and coffee. It seems very sturdy with an equally sturdy lock. Mr. Naruhodo, you mustn't go around opening things. I always keep an eye on you, don't I? You're very mischievous. Says the girl who's stuffing books in her bag. How do you come to that conclusion? Oh, that chest contains some of my most valuable things. And that smile tells me you're not going to give us any clue about what they are. Don't go in there. If you value your life, that is. Can I check the fireplace? I do like this fireplace. One of the best things I've seen since we arrived in the country, in fact. Even better than that giant clock tower, which is pretty dope. Lingering beside the fire and watching the flames flicker and dance in the grate, it's so relaxing. We can't relax, not when there are so many interesting things on the mantelpiece. Oh, it's just as it was described in the stories. It is? Yes, exactly. Inside that Persian slipper, for example, are my chocolates for elevensies. And transfixed by that large jackknife. Wait, did you say elevensies? Isn't that like a Hobbit thing? Elevensies? Breakfast? Second breakfast? Elevensies? Lunch? Afternoon tea? Dinner? Supper? whatever they all were. Is my shopping list for the market. You disappoint me, Iris. Oh, it's not quite how I remember it being described in the Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes. Poor Susato-san, she looks crushed. It's just fiction. Okay, so that's everything. Okay. Anything else? The couch, the chair. Oh, there's some stuff over here. Here's a bulletin board. A mystery shoe, a curious hammer, some mysterious dancing men, a bust of Napoleon. Ah, what an entrancing collection. This isn't the first time in my life that I've seen a lonely old shoe displayed as an ornament. I don't know if that's supposed to be a reference to something. Oh, those are all memories that Hurley has collected from his past cases. Really? Even the bust? Yes, that's right. When the mood takes him, he likes to throw it on the floor and smash it into dust. The poor defenseless emperor. Mr. Sholmes destroys it? Yes, and then he buys a new one. He's such a silly head. You make it sound like he has the temperament of an insane sculptor. Ah, how entrancingly bohemian of him. Okay, you two, calm down. He's not all there. Okay, I think that's it in this area. Ah, that's my blackboard where I note down ideas. Oh, interesting. Let's see. Black Peter? What does that mean? Don't you want to hear what Iris has to say, Mr. Naruhodo? I'll come back to that blackboard later. Okay, I guess she's gonna tell us about it. Here's a shelf full of poison. I don't know if that's poison. That's a charming little white shelf, and full of charming little bottles, too. Oh yes, but don't touch any of those. They might explode. Explode? I beg your pardon? Are they exotic chemicals? Do you use them for exciting experiments? Yes, indeed. And as Hurley always says, chemistry and explosive science. Sorry. I agree. A single discovery to trigger an explosion of innovation all around the world. No, I meant that literally. Or perhaps you just meant it literally. Exactly. Either way, mental note, do not touch any bottle that belongs to Iris. Like any. Not even a water bottle. Okay. This is definitely her side of the room. You can tell by the pink chair. She got a little tea set up here. What a beautiful English tea set. And so neatly arranged. It's a favorite pastime of mine. A cup of herbal tea in the afternoon. Tea? Made of herbs? That's right. I grow all sorts of herbs in the garden, so I can experiment with different blends. One moment. Don't go away. I'll brew a part of the special blend I came out with earlier today. She looks delighted. I only hope it's safe to drink. No, the tea explodes too. Ah, damn it. Okay, let's see what this typewriter is about. What on earth is that big black lump over there? It's a high-speed gaming typewriter. Ah, that fascinating thing is called a typewriter. It's a machine that allows you to write on paper without needing a pen. And wizardly quickly too. What is this witchcraft? Well, it sounds like it would be very useful for someone like me with terrible handwriting. Am I gonna have this stuck in my head for a while? So naturally, I have some things to present to you. Iris, could I show you this? Oh, how exciting! What is it? Tell me all about it. Oh, actually, I was hoping you might be able to tell me something about it, if anything comes to mind. Why would it? What is that stupid thing? Well, no, I suppose it wouldn't. Tell me. I want to hear everything. This hasn't gone according to plan. Every time I bring this up to somebody, it depresses me, so I think we're good. What about the map? Is it a treasure map? No, it's not. Okay. Okay, so I guess we can talk. Let's talk about you first. It was you that we ran into yesterday, wasn't it? At the Old Bailey? Yes, that's right. You were ever so helpful. Thank you so much. Oh no, not at all. I'm so sorry we couldn't have been more welcoming. Though at the time, we did have a rather large gun pointed at us. Oh, get that thing away from me. Like this? Gulp. Get ready to die, Ryunosuke. Thinking back now, you left with Miss Lestrade in tow, didn't you? Oh yes, that awkward witness, Gina Lestrade. So what's their connection? Oh, Ginny? Yeah, she's a professional pickpocket. So we found out. Oh, I wonder... Again, I'm going with what little knowledge I know of Sherlock Holmes. Wasn't there like a friend of... I don't know, friend might be a strong word, but wasn't there like an acquaintance that Sherlock Holmes used for like to gather info? At least there was a game I played. I think it was it A Blood and Truth or something? I don't know. There's a Sherlock Holmes game I played where like there was like a little homeless, it was a boy in the story, but a little like homeless boy that was like a thief or a pickpocket who went around like gathering information for Holmes. So I don't know if this is like this game's version of that character. We shall find out. It was very naughty of her to pinch my invention like that. Are you referring to that trial-disrupting gun-like contraption? The one you were just pointing at our face? Exactly, so I followed her, you see, to get it back. Perhaps I should think about fitting a self-destruct mechanism in my inventions. This girl is dangerous. Oh, she's doing a little pouty face. Cute. Anyway, I brought Ginny back here after that, so she could apologize to my trusty technician. Sorry, you're a technician? Hurley, of course, silly. Hurley? Yes, Sherlock Sholmes. We live here together. I had no idea the great detective had such an interesting young daughter. Daughter? Not likely. What? Who are you? I wouldn't call him Hurley if he was my father, would I? True. Well then, what is your relationship with Mr. Sholmes? He's my sugar daddy. Oh gosh. Well, I expect you to find out that lodgings of any kind in London are very expensive. He's your roommate. So the solution is to share the cost with a partner. A roommate. Your roommates. I hope you don't mind me asking, Iris, but how old are you? 10 at last this year. Well, what of your mother and father? Are they dead? Oh no, they're not around. Oh, I see. I wonder what the story is there. I am very curious. So let's see. Yes, let's talk about her name. I'm very curious about that. Oh yes, there's something I must ask you. Of course. Go ahead, Susie. Gotta get used to the nicknames. I am a very great fan of the adventures of Sherlock Sholmes and... Oh, you have a copy of Rant's magazine? Yes, I read every issue. It's delivered all the way to Japan on a ship. Oh, this is so exciting. My stories are being read on the other side of the world. Oh, okay, so you wrote them? My stories? So she is the one who writes them. That's right. Hurley is always solving such amazing cases, you see? And he tells me all about them. They really are quite fascinating. It would be such a shame if I was the only one who ever heard them, don't you think? Goodness gracious. Last night he was telling me all about a new case he just solved on a steamship traveling from a faraway land. We were there. Don't remind us. So I was just in the middle of typing up the manuscript for the next issue before you came. So you are the author? Maybe that's how she knows about us too, because we met and you probably told her about us, maybe. Yes, I'll let you in on a secret if you like. I'm going to call this latest adventure The Speckled Band. Ooh, okay, cool. The Speckled Band? That's certainly very familiar. So I'm curious then, is the intro of all these chapters supposed to be like, it's supposed to be like kind of the entry of the book that she wrote about the incident? It's gotta be. That's pretty cool. Of course, I always change 1 or 2 details in the stories here and there. The funny thing is, they were narrated by like a man. So I wonder if... I don't know, I wonder if now that we know that she's the writer, I wonder if it would be kind of funny if the little introduction, the case introductions are now done by her. Or at least for like the next case. This time I had the idea of making a venomous snake be the cause of all the trouble. Oh, that was Mr. Sholmes' first thought as well, actually. Yes, and of course I know that a snake might not be a credible fit for the facts of the case exactly, but... creative freedom and all that? It's a story, some poetic license is justified to make it more thrilling, I think, don't you? I guess. So, do you mean to say... are the stories of Mr. Sholmes that are published in Rant's magazine all written by me, yes? On my wonderful and very modern typewriter. But all the stories I've ever read are written by a doctor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson. Susato-san's getting more and more worked up. I mean, either there is an actual Dr. Wilson, maybe like her father or something, or it's an alias. Ah, yes. That's me. I mean, my name really is Wilson. But what about the doctor of medicine part? Are you telling me it's all a lie? That's all true too. I'm a doctor of medicine. No, at 10 years old? You betcha. At 10 years old, I'm a bit of a prodigy. Well, that's quite incredible. But... Dr. Wilson is an English gentleman. Ah yes, about that. I did alter the setting slightly for the story to be more compelling. Oh. Well, it sounds a little strange, doesn't it? A great detective with a 10-year-old girl in tow? Yeah, maybe. Maybe a little strange. I suppose it does, yes. Poor Susato-san. She looks like her whole world has just fallen apart. Bring back the happy music, yay! Okay, so tell us about those deductions you just made. About before. Yes? What's on your mind, Runo? Do tell me. How did you know that I was a lawyer and we just arrived in London, I mean? Yes. Oh, and that we have a difficult trial tomorrow. How did you know all of that? Oh, that's what you mean. Please, tell us how you did it. Explain every detail. Of course, I'd be delighted, although there's really no mystery. Now, let's begin. Okay. Iris Wilson is proud to present her Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. Ooh, we're doing it with her? Okay. First of all, I know already that you are a lawyer, Runo. After all, I met you yesterday at the Old Bailey in the defendant's antechamber. Ah, so she did notice the badge. Or the armband. But you also said that we'd only just arrived in London. How did you know that? I observed a passport and travel ticket protruding from your breast pocket. Oh. So I was reasonably confident that you must have only just arrived in the country. Okay, she's a sharp one. And on top of that, you accepted a case against that particular prosecutor, the vampire, telling me you were unaware of London's court affairs. Okay. The Reaper of the Bailey? I walked right into that one, didn't I? Oh, I never noticed that. Then I noticed a red ink stamp on the back of Susie's hand. You were given that when you visited the local prison to meet with a suspect, weren't you? Earlier today? Ah. They use those stamps to keep a close eye on comings and goings, you see? I didn't realize. And a red stamp is only used for people visiting foreign inmates. Okay, she knows a lot. So that told me that even though you had only yesterday concluded the trial of Magnus McGilded, The two of you had already had cause to visit a foreign inmate at a local prison. However, neither of you was wearing a particularly sad expression on your face, so I concluded that the prisoner was unlikely to be a friend or a relative. That led me to believe that you must have accepted a new case. I see. But how could you have known that the trial is tomorrow? Well, having barely even been a few hours yesterday, Hurley solved yet another case. It obviously amused him. He told me that he caught a Japanese man who was bawling and trembling. A Japanese man? Well, clearly that must have been... Mr. Natsume. I'm shaking! Now Runo has that fancy Japanese sword. And I think your outfit is called a kimono, isn't it, Susie? Well, anyway, it was clear to me that you both came from Japan yourselves. So I put two and two together and decided you must be defending the Japanese man Hurley caught. And there was only one conclusion those facts could lead me to. You both came here to ask Hurley about the case. Okay, you figured everything out. Okay. So far you're quite a bit sharper than your Mr. Sholmes, just saying. There's a note on the mantelpiece that says the man's trial will be tomorrow. Hurley is always stabbing his notes with a knife, you know? He is silly. And that's all there was to it, really. Thank you for listening. I'm Iris Wilson, and that was one of my great deductions. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Okay, we're both in shock. Well, was it a winner? Were my deductions correct? Yeah, they were spot on. That was amazing, Iris. Truly a great deduction. You even managed to discern something of Mr. Sholmes' discovery. Oh well, I was just copying Hurley's style for that. This is really very good news. You could tell us all about the case involving the Japanese man. You will, won't you, Iris? Please? Okay. Please do, please do. So yesterday, Mr. Sholmes apprehended a Japanese man. You were saying... Yes. Hurley had just arrived back in London after his sea voyage, but the police were waiting for him at the railway station to take him directly to the crime scene. Ah, the great detective is a popular man, it seems. Apparently, a woman was stabbed on a quiet street somewhere in town. Yes. I still don't know what they meant about that statement where, like, it wasn't verified that it's a woman or something like that. There were witnesses who had seen a short, shifty-looking, stooped man running away from the scene. A short, shifty-looking, stooped man. That's our guy. Mr. Natsume, beyond any doubt. Suzuki-san said that he didn't see anybody else on the street at all. But it seems there were witnesses after all. Hurley used his great deductive powers to determine the man's address. It was a lodging room very nearby. He went directly there with the police, and what did they find? A short, shifty-looking, stooped man shivering in fear. Mr. Sholmes' great deduction certainly hit the mark that time. Of course it did. He's a great detective. Still, that means the incident occurred only 2 days ago. Surely tomorrow is too soon for the trial, isn't it? Definitely. We have no time to investigate properly. I was gonna say, we never have enough time. Hurley said that London is rife with crime. Oh. Scotland Yard is doing its best, but they can't stay on top of it, apparently. Oh dear, I hadn't realized the situation was so dire. That's why they can't afford to spend too much time investigating cases and trying the crimes in court. Staff and money are both short. Crimes are usually pinched on the first suspicious person. That's terrible. I suppose it's the harsh reality of the workings of the world's greatest justice system. I suppose it is, but in that case, I don't hold out much hope for Suzuki-san. Things aren't looking good there, are they? Okay, is that it? Thank you for answering so many of our questions, Iris. This has been very informative. Aw. Oh, you're most welcome. I've had so much fun. Do you happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is at the moment? As you guessed, we'd like to ask him some questions about this case as well. Ah, well, I expect Hurley is still investigating the scene. Of the case involving Mr. Natsume, you mean? Yes, Mr. Natsume? I don't know, silly Japanese names. Hurley said he was going to the man's lodgings. If you leave now, you'll probably catch him there. Iris, do you know where those lodgings are? Well, I imagine the police are still investigating the scene of the crime themselves, aren't they? Did you happen to come across a detective by the name of Gregson when you were there? Yes, we know Inspector Gregson. Ah, goody. In that case, give Gregsy this from me, would you? If you do that, I'm sure he'll tell you what you want to know. What is this? A 5-shilling piece and a postcard, it seems. Iris's postcard, a card for Inspector Gregson with a message on the back from Iris. It reads, "Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem." Gosh, this will make the inspector help us, will it? Well, thank you, Iris. We'll give it a try. Good luck then. I'm going to return to writing my manuscript, The Speckled Band. And I'll be making more special blended tea, so come back again soon. We'd be delighted. Thank you so much, Iris. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, it's back to the scene of the crime. Huzzah! So, somewhat dubious that they would exert any influence over the men of Scotland Yard at all, we headed back to the scene with Iris's curious note and one of the world's heaviest silver coins in hand. Oh, is that the end? Ah, perfect timing. Finally, one of these things actually ended in a timely manner for once. Yeah, that's perfect timing. I wanted to end soon. I was thinking of maybe investigating the crime scene and then going, but this is the perfect place to end. So we finally met Iris, officially. We technically met her in the last case, but now we got to officially meet her, and she introduced herself as Iris Wilson. So that's Wilson in this universe, in this game. Yeah, she's Sholmes' Watson, basically. So cool. I like her. I like her a lot. She's a fun, quirky character. In many ways, she seems almost smarter. Like, I don't know. I guess the point is that like she kind of takes after Sholmes, but from what we've seen, Sholmes' deductions have been kind of crap, and she actually made a really good one just now. So I don't know. She definitely takes after him, if anything. I really thought we'd get to actually investigate the actual crime scene in this one, but guess not. Not yet. I'm assuming, obviously, in the next video we'll get to do that. I got the trophy. I got the trophy. That was a very easy one. I figured it would be. There's also another trophy tied to, I think it actually spans both games, the first one and the second one. There's some trophies that I think do span both games, but it's like it's examine, every thing on Iris's blackboard, which is I think is that board I tried examining, and she wouldn't let me. Or I had to talk to her first. So I have to visit periodically. Like in this next chapter, I'll have to visit and just examine it from time to time to get that trophy. Anyway, if you couldn't tell, I'm a bit of a trophy hunter. I like looking through the trophies ahead of time and just seeing what, especially this game, it's nice and easily laid out. It doesn't seem like a hard platinum to get by any stretch of the imagination. But that about does it for this episode, guys. So thank you so much for watching. As always, do the things, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it, hit that notification bell so you know when more videos go up. And I will see you guys next time. So take care, and bye-bye.